Miss Dottie Nolan, it is great to be here with you in Hazard, Kentucky, and we are live here at the Holler Broadcasting Studio. It is June 8th, 2021. Long time coming.
Yes, definitely.
Tough year, but we have persevered and we have had the good fortune of spending a lot of time
We have.
out in schools. We have done quite a bit live virtually over the course of the year. But as we turned into the winter, we had the opportunity to actually be with you, teachers, and your students in schools in person. So that was a nice treat
It
because we
was.
missed you very, very much. So, for those of you who may be meeting my colleague, Miss Dottie Nolan, for the first time, we're going to pause for a moment and let her introduce herself, share a little bit about her background, what she does professionally, full time, and then we'll move into our partnership over the past few years together, working with teachers and students in schools.
Sounds great. So, welcome. Thanks again for having me. I'm Dottie Nolan, and I work with Eastern Kentucky SEP, which is out of Hazard, Kentucky. We're workforce development. And as with any place of employment, you wear many hats, but I'm a soft skills trainer and a job clubs coordinator. And I especially enjoy any of the training sessions that I get to do and participate in with the high school seniors, with employers. So, the main focus and the main role of my position is preparing individuals for the workforce, being a part of expanding the workforce, and then looking at assisting employers with qualified folks.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, we are always looking for opportunities for different types of trainings, opportunities to meet our job seekers' needs. And just once again, we want a strong workforce in the state of Kentucky.
Absolutely. And you do an outstanding job
Thank
motivating
you.
our students to grow in the soft skills arena, and we know that that is a critical area that's required by employers. And so, what a treasure to have you here, even though you're headquartered remotely, for lack of a better description, out of London, Kentucky. You travel very well, and you have gone all the way up to schools on the Kentucky Virginia line with me,
Yes.
and all the way across to Lee County
Mm-hmm.
and Wolfe County. So we appreciate your willingness to
Thank you.
travel and reach out and be with teachers and students in person. So, with that, let's share a little bit with our teachers and students what's in the toolkit, the figurative toolkit. You've got a bunch of stuff because you've been doing this piece of work for a while.
Yes.
So, share some of the topical titles with them. Some of them they may be familiar with, some may be new, some are in development, and we'll talk a little bit about that too.
Okay. Well, first of all, Will and I have a little bit of a history, and we connected once again. We connected because of an ethics training that I provide, and so we were just talking back and forth about, wow, wouldn't this be cool information to have for our transition fair students? So one of the very first trainings that I provided was the ethics sense training. We kind of figured out that was maybe a little lengthy and maybe a little too much, too wordy. So I adapted that training. So we have in my toolkit some interview prep skills, interpersonal
Mhm.
skills, social and media etiquette, just workplace essentials.
Mhm.
And I have recorded several of those here, which is an awesome opportunity for, if we can't be in person, for me to reach you guys virtually. So I'm always excited to be a part of adding more trainings to my toolkit and sharing those with Will so that we can share those with you guys. And one of the reasons I'm just so passionate about the soft skills trainings and information is because that anytime we meet with employers, anytime we have a job fair, um, employers share with us that soft skills is just um, something that they don't have time to teach, and it's something that they expect. So we
Mhm.
want to make sure we meet those qualifications for you guys before you enter the workforce.
And since we've been doing this for several years, we have learned some good lessons, what works, what doesn't work, and typically our workshops together, and some of them are pretty much standalone. I may jump in a little bit, but many of the workshops that we collaborate on, Miss Nolan takes the lead because that's part of her toolkit. I may chime in, but what we've talked about is making sure that we try to keep these workshops to a little less than a class period.
Mm-hmm.
So we have time for some dialogue
Sure.
with teachers and students. We've also talked about doing some role playing
Yes.
and making it a little more entertaining and fun and realistic. And that may include getting volunteers from our student audience. So we'll see if anybody is brave enough to step up and do a little role playing with us, but not to fear. If you're shy and don't want to volunteer to role play with either of us
Exactly.
during the course of a workshop, Miss Nolan and I are hams, so we will entertain you and do some acting.
Yep.
It's fun. And so that's something that you can expect moving forward. If you schedule a soft skills workshop day with us, we will probably do 3. And we want to limit the group size to 5 to 10 because that makes it a little more impactful,
Mm-hmm.
just like a small classroom. Whenever you have a classroom that's 25, 30 students, it's really hard to reach everybody consistently throughout the course of the day. So our workshops will have 5 to 10 students, and we'll just work with teachers to organize that accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do different topics. We can shift the day up depending on what you feel the need is.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be predetermined what we do. And as we speak, Miss Nolan and I have actually been in the studio all day filming workshops that, in part, we may actually use for an in person workshop. We may show little clips, vignettes, if you will, to highlight and accent and emphasize what we're sharing with students relative to soft skill development. So that's something you can look forward to. And some of the topics that we talked about today is actually table etiquette. And what do we mean by table etiquette? We're talking about how to conduct yourself, and it's a soft skill,
Mm-hmm.
when you're at a restaurant or sitting at a table for a meeting or a workshop, having a meal.
Mm-hmm.
We're human beings, we have to eat. We all eat pretty regularly. If we don't,
Right.
we struggle.
One of the reasons we discussed that particular topic is once again it's a soft skill, but it's not necessarily a soft skill that everyone has been taught the
Mhm.
same general in the same general manner. And you know, as an employee, you will attend retirement dinners, you will attend meetings with partners, you will attend um, group meetings, and a part of just gathering with people includes food. So just having those helpful tips of when it's an appropriate time to speak. You know,
With or without food in your mouth.
yes, with or without food. You know, making sure you have a napkin, checking yourself after the meals to make sure you don't have food on your face. You know, spaghetti sauce or anything like that.
Those things happen.
They do, or stains on
Mhm.
your clothes. So once again, and we are Will and I, we are always thinking of your best interest and how to prepare you for the transitions in your life, and to give you confidence.
Mhm. In fact, it's amazing to me um, how often you'll find yourself in an interview setting with a meal. So, aside from other trainings where there are meals, for example, and we all have to participate in those, it's not uncommon to have your interview over a meal. So you want to make sure that you know good table etiquette. And it's not something that is necessarily taught in a class, and sometimes parents don't always teach it
Right. Right.
properly. There's more to it than you might imagine.
Sure.
So that's a workshop that we're talking about, and
Right.
we're going to develop and we're going to role play it out for you. So it'll be fun.
Yes, because those types of interviews are becoming more common. Some employers may want to meet you at a Starbucks cafe or a local cafe. So we want you to be prepared for those. And because employers, they have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. They want to get to know you on a personal level. They want to get to know who you are um, socially to see how you fit into their culture of their business.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, you also mentioned that we're going to develop a workshop surrounding a personality assessment. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because we're not talking about a lengthy personality assessment, but one that's shorter, simpler, and perhaps a little more fun.
Yes. I'm sure, if you sat through any of my trainings, participated in any of those trainings that I offer, I usually mention personality assessments more than once. And one of the reasons that I mention personality assessments is because employers are beginning to use behavioral assessments, personality assessments more than ever, simply because being an employee is more than you just showing up and doing your job. Once again, it's blending in with the culture, getting blending in with the goals and the mission statements. So knowing your strengths and different types of personality styles can help you adjust and fit in, find your place, find your niche. So we've tossed around several ideas of several different types of personality assessments, and I think one of the best suited is what we call the Big Five, and it's a printable form. I think the results, the assessment is fairly easy um, to work your way through that. The results are pretty fun, and I just think it's a fun assessment. And it's also something that's awesome in your personal toolkit when you interview, and when interview employers ask, "Why should we hire you? Why did you apply for this position? Tell me a little about yourself." Then that's just something extra that you have, extra knowledge you have to pull from your background to discuss. And I'm pretty sure that's going to wow any employer.
Absolutely. And a complementary workshop that we're talking about hosting in schools is one around grit. Do you want to talk a little bit about the importance of grit and what that even is for that matter?
Sure. So, grit is what we kind of refer to as your ethics, your moxie, your energy, what you have to offer. Are you someone that's driven? So, when we talk about grit, once again, all employers want to have staff on board that are go getters, that want to achieve, individuals that will can be problem solving, critical thinkers. Um, all employers, especially now that more than ever, they are very competitive, and they are prideful in their staff having what they call moxie or grit.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And we have an assessment that, again, is short and simple, but it will give you a sense for your grit level. And that may be an area that you excel in, but it may be an area that you need to work on.
Sure.
And based on our professional experiences, and we've been professionals for a long time, we're not old, but we've been working professionally full time for 20, 30 plus years respectively. And I will say that having grit, persistence, a good solid work ethic will make up for a lot of shortcomings. that you may naturally have through inexperience, for example. So that'll be fun.
Yes.
And so we've got all kinds of things. We've got more, but we're not going to wear you out. This is a little promo video vignette that we're sending out to teachers to get them excited about the upcoming year. We're sitting in early June 2021, and in a blink of an eye, we will be back out with you in schools. And I also want to share with teachers that we will be working with you as well, because my work may very well include our work together, may very well be working with teachers, better equipping them to help their students, because obviously, with so many schools and districts to work in, we can't be there every week.
Right.
So there are going to be opportunities for teachers to benefit from the training that we provide moving forward. So we're excited about that prospect
Yes.
as well.
Yes. And you guys, as teachers, obviously spend a lot of time with your students, and you're a big part of their transition. So we definitely
Mhm.
are looking forward to partnering with you,
Mhm.
um, getting, giving you the equipment you need,
The resources.
and the
Mhm.
resources for those conversations with the students. Definitely.
Because you don't have time. You're busy
Sure.
with a full teaching load. You don't have time to find these resources
Exactly.
necessarily. So we look forward to that, and I think if you feel like we've covered the watershed,
I think so.
we will put a bow ribbon on it and wish you um, a happy start to our new year, which is right around the corner. And thanks for once again the privilege of being able to work with you and your students at your schools. It is truly a privilege.
It is a privilege.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.